Well, from the counties, we bring you back to Broadcasting House here along Harithuku Road for an interactive session. We are delighted to have in studio an advisor in government in the executive office of the president. A lot of people are talking about the proposed development plan, Vision 2060. We recently had the president, in fact, asking that the youth be at the center of that conversation. So I'm very delighted to have in studio Dr. Sylvester Kasuku, who's an advisor governance from the executive office of the president. Thank you, Daktari, for joining us.
Thank you very much, Tom, for hosting.
Now, Daktari, I want to start it this way because you are heavily involved in Vision 2030. And if you count with your fingers, it's now 18 years, and since we launched Vision 2030. Yes. So you're the right guy to ask, what's the status of implementation?
Thank you very much, Tom Boyer. Definitely Vision 2030 is something that Kenyans have interacted with largely. Yeah. And we will equally recall that as at the time when Vision 2030 was being formulated and launched in the year 2008, Kenya was actually Kenya had been undergoing a lot of economic turmoil. Yeah. We had close to 24 years of closure. We can say that Kenya was a closed economy then, and a lot of torment was, exhibited in the economy. Yeah. And when the first term of President Kibaki came on board, you remember we were dealing with what we were calling structural transformation of government. Yeah. In which the economic strategy for renewed growth was meant to now create that structural transformation in government, where a lot of reorganization was done in government. The creation of new institutions for delivery of development were actually undertaken. You can remember institutions like KenGen, the roads authorities, which we created in the year 2003, 2004, up to 2008 when we completed the assignment. Yeah. And they were operational. You can remember the creation of the roads board. You can remember creation of many institutions were created for purposes of delivery. We also undertook policy development. You will recall that we drafted the Integrated National Transport Policy in the year 2003, 2004, which therefore provided a policy framework or a policy platform for serious socioeconomic transformation led by infrastructural development in the transport and infrastructure sectors. You will recall that we also had the energy sector transformation. We had a number of institutions created, policies created, a number of frameworks were also developed for many other sectors. And that therefore showed that the country was trying to create a platform for growth. Then you will recall that as at that time, many parts of the country were very inaccessible. A lot of economic activities were actually primed on the corridor from Mombasa, passing through Nairobi, Nakuru, going towards Eldoret to Uganda, going towards Kisumu to both also to Uganda through Busia and also to Isebania. And then beyond that corridor, beyond 100 kilometers on either side of that particular corridor, actually there were no serious economic activities that you could talk about. Yeah. So about 70% of the country was actually closed. And if anyone ever tried to be taken to that particular part of the country, either on public service transfer or even private sector activity, it was thought to be a kind of a punishment. In fact, public servants have always been paid hardship allowances whenever they are taken to these areas. Why? Because these areas are very remote, inaccessible, and many other things. So what I can say is that from there, if you look at the performance of Vision 2030 in terms of delivery, you can see that actually the country has opened up. You will see that we created the Lapset corridor with the deep waters port at Lamu Port. The Lamu Port is currently operational. And with the connections to South Sudan and Ethiopia through that corridor, which is going to carry more infrastructure beyond roads, that is including rail, pipelines, among many other things.
Yeah.
But the road infrastructure is fast being delivered right now as we speak.
Right.
You know that the road to South Sudan is fully developed up to the border.
Yeah.
The road to Ethiopia is fully developed all to the way to the border. And actually Ethiopia has also undertaken, because Kenya has delivered about 500 kilometers on the road to Ethiopia, from Isiolo to Ethiopia, about 505 kilometers.
Yeah.
Then Ethiopia has also delivered another 500 kilometers up to Hawassa.
Yeah.
And from Hawassa to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia has also undertaken the development of a motorway, which is actually a 6-lane motorway, 3 lanes on either side.
On both sides.
We are taking advantage of what Kenya has developed on this side in terms of the port and the Lapsat corridor, which is carrying a development. And that has actually opened up the country.
Yeah.
You can also quickly recall that President William Ruto also started the construction of the road from Isiolo coming all the way through Modagashe, Wajir, going to Mandera, and also Mandera going through those names that Kenyans were talking about, Kutulo and you know, all that.
Yeah,
that also crosses all the way back to Moyale.
Yeah.
And all this have actually created a lot of opening up of the country. The road from Lamu to Garsen, the road from Emali Loitoktok was done, a number of roads that connect many parts of the country.
And you're right.
Yeah.
And you
even if you talk about the Thika Superhighway, the expressway, all this.
And all that. And I know we have 3.5 years to go before we come to the end of Vision 2030. And I'll be asking you, after this short break, why is Kenya therefore not a middle-class economy? That's the first question that you will tackle when you come back from the break. And of course, why is Kenya's economy not even growing at the rate of 10%? You'll give us the details of where perhaps we dropped the ball. Well, we're taking a short break. I'm with Dr. Sylvester Kasuku here, and we're looking at Beyond Vision 2030. We'll be back shortly. You don't want to leave.
Things the wrong way.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. We're talking to Dr. Sylvester Kasuku, an advisor, Governance Executive Office of the President. Before we went for a break, I had asked you to take stock of how much progress we had made. But perhaps even before you tackle that, is it, because we have 3.5 years to go before the end of Vision 2030. So is the current pursuit of Vision 2060, is it justifiable? Because we know there is a debate around whether, you know, we should go to 2060 when we still have 2030 pending.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tomboya. You know, this is a very interesting subject. And we know that Kenya is a serious planning society from which many other countries have taken examples. But to come straight to that particular question, we do know that Vision 2030 is still in force and is still being implemented. And actually, where we are right now, we remember that we came all the way from 2008, and where we are right now, we are actually talking about completing the vision by 2030. And we know that preparation of this kind of visions require time. So if we really do not take time to prepare this particular vision in good time, while we are still having lead time for completion of Vision 2030, we will be time bad. And right now, we can actually complement the preparation of the next vision with the completion of the current vision by creating what we call an acceleration mode. So even the current medium-term plan 4, which ends in the year 2027, is actually like an acceleration medium-term plan. And so in taking lead time to prepare this, we also know that if we do not prepare the next vision right now, we'll actually create a vacuum. Why?
Also?
Because our medium-term plans are 5-year plans. Currently, we have in force medium-term plan 4, which ends in 2027. So what do we therefore do, considering that up to the year 2030, we will be having a balance of 3 years, which will now be, if we were to prepare the next medium-term plan, it will be 2028 to 2032. Vision 2030 ends in 2030, which means the next 2 years after 2030 is in the next vision. So therefore, we cannot wait until Vision 2030 is over, because again, we will be time-bound. And then the medium-term plan 4 is ending in 2027, which means the next medium-term plan, or the next window of 5 years plan, must cater for part of the next vision. So we have to cure that to make sure that we plan in time. The next thing is that international best practice shows us, which also includes Kenya. Kenya is part of good international best practice, planning way ahead of time. And that's why it's called planning. And formulating policy is something that is founded on many principles. Number one, we need to undertake the correct policy preparation. And in Kenya, after the Constitution 2010, Article 10 of the Constitution requires public participation. And public participation, as you've seen, has become a key issue. And whenever any law or any policy is formulated without appropriate public participation, it becomes a court case.
And I know there's a process that's beginning tomorrow. Is that
correct?
Yes,
there's a process that begins tomorrow. But so now, just give me 1 minute. That public participation can only be given due time if we start early. And we need to deal with 47 counties. We need to deal with all areas of constituencies. We need to deal with even up to local levels, even up to sub-county levels, for proper public consultation. So in this endeavor, therefore, and also writing this document requires time. The other point, which is point number 4, is that we need data. So even if we will be doing public participation, we equally need data. And data systems must also be built through appropriate studies that are also in tandem with the new formulation or the formulation of the next vision. So we are also moving into a situation which is point number 5. We are having a paradigm shift from what we are calling the bottom-up economic transformation framework to the program in which we are now going to move towards what we call the first world. And that particular system involves a lot of other transformative mechanisms, like the AI and digital systems, among many others, industrialization, among many others. And that requires a lot of other works and a paradigm shift for us to move in the right direction. Just to close this.
Just to close that.
Just to close that. We also know that, and I just wanted to give you an example, that many other jurisdictions have actually undertaken similar planning, strategies that like the way we are using. I remember I was invited by the United Emirates government, the UAE. They invited me in the year 2017 to participate in the UAE 2071 master planning, as well as the our UAE 2032. Which they were also prepared at that time. And by the way, the plan was going to start all the way in the year 2020, but by 2017, they were already finishing. They were finalizing the preparation of that master plan. Singapore, among many other countries, South Korea, talk about the UK, all these other many countries that we do take examples from, China, Japan, they always plan way ahead of time, so that by the time it reaches the time for you to implement, you've already prepared, because there are also laws that will be required, like the planning law. We might need a national planning law to anchor economic planning in law, just like we have other laws that anchor other processes. So all these, including many policies that will also need to come in tandem with this.
But let me just ask you this.
Stage will require to be in place. We need time.
Let me just ask you, because you have given a very comprehensive outline.
Yes.
You see, there's a link between planning and outcomes.
Correct.
Okay?
Right.
And so I want to ask, before I move to my next question, are we a middle class based on what Vision 2030 had projected? And are we growing at 10%?
Now, Tomboya, definitely we are in the middle level, but what do you call the lower middle level economy. But we are not growing at 10%, and we do equally do know that we have done our best as a country, but we have had challenges. Yeah. Number one, when we started Vision 2030, by the time it came into office, by the time it came into force, we had many other structural issues to put in place. The kind of structural issues that I'm talking about now that needs to be put in good time were actually not done that particular time, because Vision 2030 was the first clear vision to be put in place, and we were grappling with implementation at the same time, structuring many other processes that needed to deliver Vision 2030.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, when we picked up very well from, let's say, Kibaki 1, but we faced many other challenges along the way. What we have seen in the review of Vision 2030 is that the many projects that we wanted to deliver needed time to equally prepare. And one of the biggest shocks to the vision was that the bankability readiness, or what you call the readiness of bankable documents, already bankable projects, already prepared and ready for implementation or for uptake, even by private sector, were not readily available. And so we had to be grappling with preparing bankability documents or investable projects, at the same time implementing the vision. So that one gave a drawback a little bit. Yeah. The other bit is that financing was also a challenge to many Vision 2030 projects. And you do know that the government pass, or the public pass, can only finance much from the public, from taxes. So as such, you've seen the country going into a situation of looking for extra financing or pre-arranged financing through debt, among many other mechanisms. Yeah. And also trying to draft private sector participation into these areas of investments. The other thing is that the COVID-19 pandemic
was a disruption.
Struck us just like it struck the rest of the world in a bad way.
In a bad way. Let me ask.
And you can remember the economic growth dipped.
Decline, that's true.
Completely.
Absolutely.
And we had to again struggle as an economy to
nobody anticipated that. But let me just ask you, because you and I, in the next 60 years, we might not be there.
And we should not be planning for ourselves.
So, so the question is, how do we ensure that the youth, whatever the youth are going to recommend in the conversation that starts tomorrow, we don't just listen to them, but we actually factor it in the drafting process.
That is very true. And I want to put it here very clearly. I want to say it without using any other sugarcoating, that the youth are right at the center of the formulation process of the next vision, up to including tomorrow's conversation. The youth will be part and parcel of the panel that we'll be discussing. The youth are also taking a leading role in actually also driving public participation, which is meant to also to actually attract a lot of youth participation, so that ideas that come from the youth are equally integrated and actually become a key driver to the next vision formulation.
So as we wind up this conversation, tomorrow the conversation begins. What happens going forward after tomorrow, as your final comment?
Yes, tomorrow, some people are thinking that tomorrow we are going to launch Vision 26 or the next or beyond Vision 2030. No. Tomorrow is the commencement of the public forums, the public participation, the public conversation about the next vision, how it should be done, what needs to be contained in it, what are the prerequisites for achieving it. Now, for me to bring you quickly into focus, is that as we are going into the next vision which is being seen to take Kenya to the first world status, we are definitely transiting from vision systems that are sector-based to vision systems that are ecosystem-based or that are value chain-based. And this, therefore, gives us a clear understanding of what the rest of the other first world have actually done or how they've carried out their transformation agenda. And when we look at the next vision, therefore, there are certain guiding principles that we are already seeing that are very clear for us to be able to format the thought processes that are going to come from the public. Number one, we are looking at how to focus the thought processes into system-based frameworks like the economic system or the economic framework,
as you wind down,
cities and spatial transformation systems,
yes,
the human capital systems,
yes,
the natural capital systems,
yes,
and the governance pillar systems.
Yes.
So all these will be able to guide us, and we are basing this,
yes,
on what Kenya should be by the year 2060. We know that we'll be over 100 million plus.
Yes.
What should be our job, our labor force capacity at that time? What will be the population? Like about 55 million or between 50 and 55 million.
Thank you.
And we should have jobs that equally match that.
Thank you.
And international best practices does indicate also that there are critical indicators that we must use, and we are right there.
I want to thank you, Daktari. I mean, we need to call you back again, Dr. Sylvester Kasuku. I want to thank you so much. Of course, the country will be watching, and we genuinely want Vision 2060 to be a living promise.
Correct.
For the future of this nation. Thank you so much again for finding time,
Asante
Dr.
sana,
Sylvester Kasuku.
The entire KBC team.
Asante sana from the Executive Office of the President. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we have the day's business.